June 17, 1972. 5 people were arrested at a break-in at the Democratic Party campaign headquarters in the Watergate complex in Washington, D.C. By the end of January 1973, 7 people had been charged in relation to the Watergate break-in. 2 of them were declared guilty of conspiracy, wiretapping, and burglary. The Senate then formed a committee to investigate the crimes. In March 1973, one of the burglars claimed that there's a larger conspiracy behind the break-in. Senior officials associated with the administration had originally ordered a cover-up of the crime. It was then found that the break-in was done at the request of the committee to re-elect the president. A case was created against President Nixon with televised hearings beginning May 1973, with Archibald Cox as the prosecutor on the case. Testifying before a grand jury, some assistants to President Nixon revealed that he had secretly recorded conversations and calls in his office. When he was asked to provide the tapes, he refused, so Archibald Cox obtained a subpoena that required Nixon to turn in the tapes. This started the Saturday Night Massacre. Basically, President Nixon ordered the firing of Archibald Cox. Then General Elliot Richardson, who appointed Cox, refused to carry out the order and resigned in protest. Acting as Attorney General, Solicitor General Robert Bork fired Cox. He debated resigning as well, but he was driven to the White House and decided to sign the paper anyway. Archibald Cox ended up getting reinstated by the U.S. District Court. He finally submitted the tapes. Except there was a big section of the tapes removed, and nobody believed him when he said it was a mishap in the recording. In 1974, it was proved that Nixon was involved in the cover-up when he finally gave up the full tapes. The evidence was incriminating enough that the House Judiciary Committee voted to recommend the impeachment of President Nixon. But before they could take further action, President Nixon decided to resign to not have to face impeachment and left the White House the next day. On September 8th of that year, President Ford granted Nixon full pardon for any crimes he had committed during his presidency, reasoning that it was better to end the nightmare because prolonging it would continue to divide the nation.